Dear students, today we'll be learning about a spinal nerve. And we all know we have 31 pairs of spinal nerve. To understand a spinal nerve, we need to look into a section of the spinal cord. So this section of the spinal cord which you are looking at the moment, this is 10 times magnified from the normal size. And in this section, what primarily you can see, this substance which is comparatively whitish in color, and this is which is bit darker in color. So this we call it as, this white thing is, we call it as the white matter, and this we call it as the gray matter. This is anterior aspect, that is the posterior aspect. There you can see in the midline there is a fissure going, and there is a sulcus going. This is anterior, so this is anterior median fissure, and this is posterior median sulcus. And then we are good with this. This is the white matter, and this one which is H shape, that is the gray matter. If we come to that, this is my anterior aspect, so this is my ventral, and this is my dorsal. So these are called horns. So this is my dorsal horn, this is my ventral horn, and there is something more which is extra, and that is present laterally, that we call it as the lateral horn. So this is really important for understanding the formation of a spinal nerve. And you can see on the side of this model, there are some filaments which are emerging from my posterior horn or the dorsal horn, and there are some filaments which have been seen emerging from my ventral horn. Okay, now let's learn the formation of a spinal nerve from this model. This model is a little different from the previous model. There you can see that there is a spinal nerve on right side and a spinal nerve on the left side. And now if we track back, we are good with this information that this is the white matter and that's the gray matter. And there is the dorsal horn, and this is the ventral horn, and this is the lateral horn. Now, if you can pay attention from the ventral horn, which is located anteriorly or ventrally, you can see the nerve filaments which are going outwards laterally. These are my motor fibers. The neuron lies here. And then if you look at from my dorsal horn, these are the nerve filaments which are going, and their neuron lies in this swollen part of this spinal nerve. This swollen part is called dorsal root ganglion. And now this dorsal root ganglion, basically that is the origin of my sensory component of the spinal nerve. And this ventral root is a motor component of a spinal nerve. So a spinal nerve which you are seeing in making at the moment has a sensory component, has a motor component. These motor filaments and these motor fibers, they relay into motor tracts. Sensory relays into sensory tract. And primarily, if we come back, a spinal nerve, it contains motor fibers. You have seen they are emerging from the ventral horn. It has sensory fibers, they are emerging from the dorsal horn. And it also have sympathetic fibers which are emerging from this lateral horn. So a spinal nerve, primarily it comprises of motor, sensory and sympathetic. Now why we need motor? We need motor for the control of the muscles, for the muscle contraction and relaxation. Sensory for bringing sensations, touch, pain and proprioception. And sympathetic, we all know we had abundance of smooth muscles. They are present in the blood vessels. Let's summarize by using these slides. So we are looking at a section of a spinal cord. So this section, let's label it. This is the anterior aspect and that is the posterior aspect. And what I'm trying to indicate with these green arrows, we are looking at the white matter. And this reddish thing, H-shaped thing, that is the gray matter. Then this gray matter, posteriorly, this component, we call it dorsal horn or the posterior horn. And then anteriorly, we call it anterior horn or the ventral horn. And then laterally, we have the lateral horn. This lateral horn is only present from first thoracic to second lumbar spinal cord level. After seeing that, posteriorly you can see there is a sulcus. We call it posterior median sulcus, and anteriorly we don't have a sulcus but we have anterior median fissure. So now this section, let's look further. So now from this section, what we have done, we are deriving these spinal nerves. So the spinal nerves, as we have talked about, they appear in multiple rootlets, and these rootlets, they join to form my spinal nerve. Let's label it. This is, we are looking at the white matter, and then this is the gray matter. Now posteriorly, this nerve root, we call it dorsal or the posterior root, and anteriorly we have the ventral or the anterior roots. And then this dorsal root and the ventral root, they join to form my spinal nerve. What is the structure? This is a ganglion, and we call it sympathetic trunk ganglion, and this has been used for my sympathetic fibers. Why we need sympathetic fibers? To control the smooth muscles. And then we are looking at a spinal nerve. Now, what is this part which has been swollen in the dorsal root? This swollen part, we call it dorsal root ganglion. Why it is swollen? We'll be just seeing it in upcoming slide. Now, the same section, this red circle which is located in the ventral horn or anterior horn, we call this as motor neuron cell body. And from this motor neuron cell body, what do we have? We have the emergence of the motor fibers. This motor fiber is going to contribute in making my spinal nerve, and that is responsible to control the skeletal muscle, but for their contraction and their relaxation. And then this is going inwards, that is the sensory fibers, and it relays where? Into the sensory neuron cell body. And from there we can see it relays back to the dorsal horn or the posterior horn, and then it continues with the tracts which runs in the spinal cord, ultimately to be relayed in the sensory area of my brain. Now this green circle, as I told you, that is being found under this lateral horn, and this is my sympathetic neuron. We can only see these neurons from T1 to L2, and from here we can draw the preganglionic sympathetic fibers which goes and relay into postganglionic sympathetic fibers, and they are now contributing, and now my spinal nerve has been complete by having a motor component, a sensory component, and a sympathetic component. We all know the sensory component is taking the sense of pain, touch, pressure, proprioception to my brain, and this red one is bringing the motor fibers from my brain to my skeletal muscle, and this green one is basically the sympathetic fibers that is there to control my smooth muscle. And where we find the smooth muscle, they are abundant in the blood vessels and the glands, and this means the complete spinal nerve, and each spinal nerve has a motor, sensory, and a sympathetic component.